The kind love mountains, the wise love water. Truths that haunt the island of Inisherin, much like the ghoulish elderly woman who speaks of forthcoming deaths and tragedies. But love is too generous of a word for Inisherin's dread, which permeates the bright and the dim, albeit with different results. Explosions across the shore remind the uninvolved of the civil war raging on without end. Soldiers die for a cause Inisherin doesn't care to discuss or remember.
Good luck to you. Whatever it is you're fighting about.
But death itself rides the tide and forms the foam of the island's shallow waves. Both the kind and the wise recognize the ocean as death, but the kind see no need in thinking about death. They're here to comfort and be comforted all the way into their one-noted death. Their homes rest at the island's center where the tide will never reach, and death will come when death will come. The wise plant themselves seaside, soaking in the breeze and watching the sun go up and down every day. Death is all too familiar, so whatever time they have left is spent making it count. Whether they compose, dance, write, sculpt, or paint, they search for immortality through art. Life is only as valuable as what you'll leave behind. The day-to-day despair fuels the art they create and consume. So why not let it tuck you in for that everlasting darkness? Colm's always known which side of the coin he was on. The talk of pony shite and his routine pub runs with Padraic went stale around the 20th time, and now that staleness reminds Colm of the time he's wasted, as well as the little he may have left. The calloused hands of time leave marks only Colm can feel, and he feels them deeply. Padraic calls it oppression, and while it may well be that, Padraic only identifies it because of the breakup.
That's what I was thinking. That he's depressed.
Thrusting himself into this relationship, a religion he no longer believes in, Colm finds himself needing to end things. Colm tells Padraic that he hasn't done anything to Colm.
You didn't say anything to me. You didn't do anything to me. Well, that's what I was thinking, like. I just don't like you no more.
When kindness becomes Padraic's only offering and dullness is a side effect, Colm sees nothing more in their friendship. With so little time left, every second, minute, hour, and day is Colm's currency, and he can no longer afford Padraic's boring conversation. Padraic, though, finds himself not nearly as dull as Dominic, the town dunce.
Do you want to ride to church?
Feck them gobshites.
Dominic!
Padraic's sister, Siobhan, deems Dominic miles and away the dimmest in town. But she herself knows Padraic isn't the brightest either. He's kind but dull to Colm, and he's dull but kind to Siobhan. They see the same person day in, day out, yet Padraic himself is unaware of his dullness. Just like Colm's pet dog or Padraic's miniature donkey, Padraic comforts his friends and family and only wants to be comforted back. He actually finds the most peace with animals. He gives them food, pets, and a place to sleep, and they keep him company. He doesn't consider this kind of life too much to ask for. He sees himself as the kind townsperson whom no one could criticize or hate, but that very attitude manifests the criticism. The day after what Padraic believes was Colm's April Fool's joke, Siobhan asks him,
Do you never get lonely, Padraic? Me.
Padraic only repeats the question and avoids it.
Do I never get lonely? What's the matter with everybody?
Siobhan reads sad books, and Padraic tells her,
Well, you should read a not sad one, Siobhan, else you might get sad.
Siobhan sobs in the bed next to him, and he simply asks,
What's the matter?
Nothing.
and then continues to lie in bed. He sees Siobhan's and Colm's dread, yet he has no clue what to do with it. He believes Colm, and Siobhan indirectly, should keep it inside.
Like the rest of us.
But even he succumbs to despair when the horribleness envelops him. He truly loves Siobhan and Colm, but he has no clue what to do when that love is tested. All of Padraic's little kindnesses reflect a transparent man, and yet, a transparent man is incapable of being vulnerable. The only time he is vulnerable, or even interesting to Colm, is when he's drunk. His drunk self is still kind and honest to those deserving, but his anger riles up his furrowed eyebrows and commanding voice. His hatred for the policeman and
Pudgy fiddle players.
is clearer with his drunken stammering than it was in his sober timidness. His love for loving and kindness is undying, especially in the face of what Colm believes is inevitable, that everyone will remember a tune but not an act. Colm's claim that art is immortal is only as valuable as those who will remember the art, while a kind life may be remembered by all who love them. If Inisherin is their shared deathbed, Padraic calling Colm's work a shite tune may already prove Colm's theory wrong. Maybe no one will remember Colm's music, just like no one will remember Padraic, Siobhan, or even their parents. This entire lineage of kindnesses may die at the same time as Colm's art. Colm's house is decorated in sculpted masks and carved puppets, while a record player reminds Colm that there's an industry just off the mainland. People have already created their life's work while Colm continues to search for a form that will outlast him. Yet, Siobhan experiences the same disconnect farther away from shore. She reads and reads, dreaming of the promises on the mainland while knowing she can never leave Padraic. He's the last family member she has, and no matter how dull or dim he is, she dreads losing him. The sea and the ghoulish elder tempt her more with each passing day, just as the bombs offshore remind her of the risk. However, dying on this dreary time loop of an island scares her the most. Everyone knows she's beautiful, but everyone also knows she's entrenched in depression and loneliness, and therefore undesirable to the normal townspeople.
No wonder no one likes you.
So she repackages how, quote-unquote, undesirable she is into a fiery persona fitting for Inisherin's bitterness. She loves Padraic and how comforting he is, but he comes bundled with Inisherin's isolation. He'll never leave this island, and she has to. No matter how much she hurts Padraic, she can no longer sit in her own misery and bear it for him. And perhaps the saddest character roaming Inisherin is Dominic, son of the town policeman and friend to Padraic. His father abuses him often, the town hates his weirdness, and even Padraic finds him off-putting. Dominic gravitates towards Padraic because he perceives him differently than everyone else. His honesty and kindness is much different than the scolding and beating he's so used to. Despite his ongoing creepy pursuit of Siobhan, he sees right through most of the characters, often saying what most are afraid to say. When Padraic tells Dominic that Colm no longer wants to speak to him, Dominic remarks,
Didn't I tell you I'd be off if you went whining about that lummox one more time?
Even Dominic, everyone's choice for dimmest on Inisherin, recognizes how dense Colm's and Padraic's bickering is. The filter everyone else has is non-existent for Dominic.
And did you ever see her with no clothes on?
Isolating him into the furthest reaches of the island's social space. He tells Padraic to never mention Colm and his dreariness ever again. Dominic finds no joy in thinking about the past and what's done. He is so dejected by his everyday suffering that drinking with Padraic and dreaming of marrying Siobhan are the only joyful things in his life, the only things to look forward to.
There goes that dream.
All he could ever want is what Siobhan and Colm are tired of, Padraic's kindness. Siobhan shuts his creepiness down at every turn, but she also has sympathy for him. Dominic, Siobhan, and Colm all experience a misery totally foreign to much of the town, including Padraic. Colm works on a single song throughout the single tumultuous, miserable week titled The Banshees of Inisherin. He chose the title originally for the double SH sound, a reason Padraic immediately understands.
There's plenty of double SH on Inisherin.
But Colm ponders the existence of Banshees on Inisherin, the island of deafening silence. Why did they ever stop shrieking? Colm reasons that, maybe, the Banshees saw no point in shrieking any longer, that the misery of the quiet suffocated their calls. Banshees may still survey the island, but their calls are lodged in their throats, unable to escape.